Tanya TKO here, and last night was one of the worst nights of my life traveling. The only night that was worse than that was in 2007 when I was stuck at the border to Syria, and they wouldn't let me in because they had animosity towards Americans. So they made me sleep at the border, and I had to sleep on this hard piece of wood, and there were mosquitoes that were attacking my face. So I had to put a hood over it, so they were biting all over my lips and nose. They bit my eyelids, and that was the only night that was worse than this one. I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. Yesterday I went to go see an apartment, and the apartment was $13 a day. But once I got to the apartment, the guy said, oh, though it's $13 a day, it's $150 for the week, and they only book weeks at a time. So I'm like, why are you advertising at $13 a day? And the guy asked me to come to the apartment at 5 p.m. So now at this point, it's getting dark. I'm sorry, I look awful. So at this point, it's getting dark. I have, my bags and my luggage and stuff with me, and I have expensive computer equipment because I'm out here vlogging and also writing my book. So I have my PC and stuff. So anyway, so it's starting to get dark. So I'm like, look, I have to find someplace else to stay for the night, and now it's getting dark, and people don't seem to understand that for a woman walking around dark in some of these foreign countries, it's just not safe. And I was robbed 2 weekends ago, so it's like I'm really not feeling that. So I asked him if I could use his Wi-Fi so I could find some place to stay. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, of course. And then as soon as I start using the Wi-Fi, he's like, look, I have to go, so you need to hurry up, right? Which I know was a total lie, because I was coming to stay at the apartment, and then all of a sudden, when I didn't want to pay the $150, the thing out here is that these people are very desperate for US dollars. They don't want their own money, and it seems like there are many people out here who are trying to get over. Part of the problem that exists in Argentina is that there are two different exchange rates on the US dollar. One is the official legal exchange rate, which is 8.9, and there's a parallel rate, which is unofficial and also illegal at 12.5. There are some problems going on in the government, which is restricting and forbidding US dollars from being able to circulate, but the US dollar is stable. It's actually more stable than gold. Many Americans won't know and understand this because we're from America and we live inside of this bubble where our dollar is when you go to buy something at the store, the cost that it cost last week will be the same price that it cost this week, unless there's some manufacturing changes in the actual cost of the sale, but not the value of the money that you're bringing into the store. So even though in this country they use the Argentine peso, they prefer the US dollar because their money is not stable, it's constantly fluctuating. It's opened up tremendous backdoor problems which exist with this parallel illegal market, which some call the blue market, black market, underground market, illegal trade. They call it a lot of different things here, but this is the problem that you see when you go to purchase something. The official rate is 8.9. That's what you'll get in the banks. When you change your money, when you use your credit card, you'll get 8.9 on the dollar. No more, no less, unless there's fluctuations in the exchange rate. But on the parallel market, you'll get somewhere between 12.30, 12.50. A few months ago, it was even up to 13. People like to pay in the official rate. They like to pay out only 8.9, but they like to receive in 12.5. So if you're supposed to pay a vendor 890 pesos, which is the official rate, let's say you're supposed to pay someone $100. You're supposed to officially pay them 890 pesos, but people are illegally demanding 1,250 pesos instead. And instead of going through the rigmarole of even asking for their own pesos, which the cost of their peso fluctuates from day to day, they want US dollars. So when people find out that you're American, the greed starts to balloon inside of them, and they start trying to think of ways that they can get US dollars out of you by any means necessary, even if it's trickery or robbery. They don't want their own money, and it seems like there are many people out here who are trying to get over. So all right, so I booked another place real quick. I decided to treat myself. It was $25 a day. I decided to book 3 days, so it was supposed to be $75. When I get to the property, there's drug addicts hanging out outside. The outside of the look at how this is how you can see. This is how the area looks that I'm in. There's an abandoned or building under construction, which is empty right there, and it's not the safest of areas. There were drug addicts outside, alcoholics hanging out on the stoop. The area was dark and it looked desolate. So I get to the apartment share, which I booked on booking.com, and when I get here, it's already dark now. It's after 7 p.m. I have my bags with me with my laptop and stuff in it, so I really don't want to be out on the street. And then the guy is like, it's gonna cost $10 a night extra. And I'm thinking to myself, this place is not worth $35 US a night. And why didn't he place that, on the website, that there was some sort of $10 a night extra? He claims it's some sort of cleaning fee. But then I was like, can I use your internet to find someplace else, right? Because I begged him. I was practically in tears. I begged him. And he was like, not my problem. I begged him to please not add on that extra $10. And he was like, that's not my problem. And so I got on Wi-Fi. I was able to call booking.com. Booking.com told him that he can't charge me the extra $10. He gets angry. He starts screaming at me. He's trying to kick me out. And booking.com, I don't know what it was that they said to him that stopped him from kicking me out, but he didn't kick me out. And then sorry, I didn't sleep last night. And then, like, if you see the door here, the door doesn't close. The door doesn't close all the way. And he wouldn't give me a key to lock the door, because as you see here in Buenos Aires, they use these, if you can see that, they use those old-time keys here to lock and open doors. So he wouldn't give me a key to lock the bedroom door, and he wouldn't give me a key to lock the bedroom door, so I really didn't feel safe. I didn't know, he was really angry. I didn't know if he was going to have someone come in here in the middle of the night and try to rob me. I didn't know what was going to happen because I couldn't close the door. It was awful, so I couldn't sleep. My face is looking a mess. And then I'm going to show you the bathroom, because when I calmed down and I was like, at least let me try to take a shower to feel better. When I saw the bathroom, number one, the toilet would not flush. It had no water in the tank. The toilet wouldn't flush. And then I'm going to show you what the shower looks like. So we're going to be really quiet. I'm going to walk with you. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go now. Okay. The garbage is filled with, if you see used condoms at the top right there. I decided to make the most of my night. I knew it was a little bit risky to leave my things inside the room to go take a shower, but I was really hot, I was tired, I was sweaty, I needed to bathe, and I needed to put some ointment on my chafed bruise. But when I saw that shower, if there was ever any doubt about whether or not I should not take a shower, looking at that place and smelling it confirmed all doubts, and I knew that I could not only could I not disrobe in this place, but I couldn't even place my shower shoes on that bathroom floor. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could put on my shower shoes and stand inside the shower just so I could get freshened up. But then when I looked at the curtain, and the curtain was filled with muck and mildew too, I was like, ain't no way. There's no reason why you should have to step into a shower and get out dirtier than when you went in. And then that condom in the garbage can situation, I don't know what that was about. It's like the night before, the garbage can was like overflowing, because here the plumbing is not really good, so you don't flush your toilet paper down the inside the toilet. So you're supposed to wipe and then put it inside the garbage. So not only was the garbage can filled with butt wiped papers or front wiped papers, but it was overflowing with condoms too, so that when I lifted up the top, they were like used condoms with their filling bursting over the edges. And I was like, what type of place is this? What type of activity is this man into? Is this place a whorehouse? Is he having a lot of boyfriends or girlfriends or multiple friends? I really don't know, but I started rolling up wads of tissue to throw it on top of the garbage, so now you can only see one or two climbing over. But the night before, it was like a petri dish. Ugh. The toilet. Okay, let's walk back, okay? So listen, I'm hiding behind the door right now because I want to get out of here safely. But listen, so that's the situation. I'm gonna get off because he wants me to leave right now, so I'm gonna get out of here. But listen, we'll talk again soon, okay? I wish that you could have seen him on camera. I'll see if I can carry the camera with me when I'm walking out. Okay, bye. So what I did was I took my phone and I placed it inside my lapel pocket of my jacket so that the camera would be able to film outward without anyone knowing that I was filming. Let's go. Franco? Franco? Okay. All right. So here's the money. Here. Thank you. How do I get down? Franco? All right, bye-bye. This is the way the property looks. This is the out. First of all, Booking.com should be ashamed of itself. This listing should not be on Booking. It should have never made it to Booking. Number one, I know from visiting this place that Booking.com is not screening these places that they're allowing people to stay at. Not only are they not screening the location, the caliber of the place that you're actually going to be staying in, but they're not screening the caliber of the person who owns this place and who may be living under the same roof as you. How dare they? How dare Booking.com allow something like this to exist on its website, where people who are traveling in a foreign country, unknowing what the actual place may look like, and then once they get there, have their life, their person, and their possessions be in danger because of the host that Booking did not screen. This listing needs to be removed from Booking. This is a dangerous situation where Booking.com is gambling with the lives of travelers. How dare they have a listing on Booking.com where you're, number one, staying inside someone's home, two, when the place has not been screened by an actual physical human being to see the caliber of not only the inside of the home, but the outside of the home as well. And what type of background check have they done on this person whose home you are entering? First of all, if I would have known that this was a person's home, I would have never rented this. Booking.com should be ashamed of itself. This listing should not be on Booking. Booking.com should not have people's homes, people's personal dwellings on Booking without first doing some sort of screening, background check, or providing some sort of warning of non-liability of what may happen to you once you stay there. Now, I know that this video will raise some questions. The number one question will probably be, why didn't you leave? And I'll answer that for you right now. Number one, I was not thinking clearly. I had not slept well in weeks. As you know, I've had problems with bed bugs in hostels. The night before, I only gotten 2 hours of sleep. My bags were heavy. And as I showed you all on Instagram, my pants, my last pair of pants, had developed holes on the inner thighs. So by the time that evening came around, look, I'm walking more than 10,000 steps a day. I'd walked more than 5 miles this day without having eaten anything since breakfast. And by the time 9 p.m. came around, my inner thigh was chafed to the point of bleeding. So I couldn't walk. I was fatigued. I was hot, sweaty, tired. I was drained. I couldn't carry my bags. And then also, where else would I go? This was the weekend before their Independence Day, and a lot of the hotels were booked. I closed my business last year, July, so it's been 10 months that I've been living on savings. And I don't have the capital to be able to spend big bucks on fancy hotels every night. When I first got into town, I was able to I was able to treat myself to an expensive hotel, but I just don't have the converted dollars to be able to have gotten a nice hotel again. I first got on the phone with Booking.com, it was 7 p.m. By the time they got off of the phone with him, it was 9 p.m. because he had started pretending that he didn't speak English, so they had to make all of these back and forth phone calls to get a translator on the line and all of this other stuff. So it took 2 hours for that. I mean, at that point, I really wasn't going to go outside because in one of my bags has both of my cameras, my computer, my equipment, and I did not trust that I would be all right walking down in the street. It took me an hour to get there. Buenos Aires is not small. It took me an hour to get there. Not only that, my phone only works on Wi-Fi. You know, in the United States where you have a mobile plan, I think we've become so accustomed to being able to walk out in the street and make our phone calls. But if you don't have telephone service and you don't have internet service on your phone, how do you make that call? So I needed to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to be able to communicate. I didn't know where else to go. It was late. I was limited on cash funds. I was tired, bruised, sleepy, fatigued. I was in pain. It was one of the worst nights of my life, and I did not know until I actually had decided that I was going to stay that he wasn't going to give me a key and that I wouldn't be able to lock the door. By that point, it was really too late, and then that's when my imagination started to run wild with the what if. What if someone tries to come into my room? Can I even leave the room without being able to close it? I tried to take a shower and the bathtub looked awful. The toilet that night would not flush. When I went back in the morning, it was cleared out with some caked up stuff down at the bottom. But other than that, the toilet had been cleaned and freshened. The condoms, etc., were still inside the garbage. The bathtub was looking awful. My leg was still bruised. I was hungry, tired, dizzy, and I thought that I would fear better inside than outside on the street. I didn't know if he would harm me or if someone would come in and harm me. But I put my chances in staying inside over going outside. That was a choice that I made on very little sleep. Watching the video and seeing it now and realizing how much fear I was in, I probably should have spent any amount of money to be able to get out of there. The biggest thing was the neighborhood was so bad that there were no cabs driving up and down on the street. So I would have had to walk very far in the dark in this drug-infested, alcoholic-ridden neighborhood with my computer equipment, etc., to find a cab. And I did not trust the road. I trusted myself, my safety a little bit better on the inside, because if something did happen to me on the inside, there is a place that the cops can be sent back to. I text a friend of mine to give her the address to let her know exactly where I was, and told her that if she did not hear back from me within a certain amount of time, that there's a problem. So there was a trail on the inside, whereas on the outside there would have been no trail, and the variables were just too great. So I decided to try to stay indoors, even if I had to stay up all night, which I did. I stayed up all night. I did not sleep, and in the morning, I was all right. Nothing passed in the middle of the night, and I was okay. I did not trust that nothing would pass on the road. So with my limited sleep, I made a judgment call, and I decided to stay inside, especially since I was already in, and the only person I had to worry about was him. Then when the night started to weigh on, I started wondering, would he send someone in there to rob me? Because, you know, it'd be so easy to just leave the door open and just tell a bunch of your gangster friends, oh, come over and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I'm happy that I turned out all right. As you can see, I'm in different surroundings now. I've had some rest, I've had some food, I've had showers. And all is better now, but that was one of the worst nights of my life. I'd love your comments below. What do you think of this situation? I want Booking.com to take this place off. It's called Casa Yatay, which is CASAYATAY, and look it up on Google Maps, because Yatay Street is not bad once it first begins, but once it starts to get a little shady, and it was much worse looking at night than it was during the day. Like during the day, you can see what's around the bends. It's a little old, but it looks much more scary and much more ominous at night, especially with the drug addicts and the drug dealers and the alcoholics hanging around. So that's my story. If you have any nightmare horror stories, please share some that have happened to you, nightmare stories, traveling. What would you have done if you were in this situation? I'd love to hear what you imagine you would have done. You see what it was that I did, but I'd love to hear your feedback, because we create who it is that we will know ourselves to be. So write out what you would have done, and then hopefully if you're ever in a situation which is similar, you will remember your words and do the things that you said you will do to describe or define who it is that you are. So that's it. Give me a hug, everyone. I love you so very much. Hug, 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 hug. I love you all so very much. Go out there and love one another, and most importantly, what? Love yourself. And tune in next Monday. And tune in next Wednesday for my next travel vlog. Be sure to sign up for my mailing list at TanyaTKO.com. Subscribe to my videos here on YouTube, and I will see you next Wednesday. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. Are you from Buenos Aires or have ever heard of these 2 exchange rates? What do you think about that? Are you in a country with 2 exchange rates? Does that present a problem? Are you in a country with an uneasy, unsteady currency? Tell me your story below. I'm really interested in hearing it. And if you've made it to the end of this video, I want you to type the sentence, safety first. Safety has no price, because in hindsight, I should have spent whatever it was that I needed to spend to make sure that I was safe. I only have one life. But you know what? It's like when you're tired and you're not thinking straight, you don't make the best decisions. But remember, safety first. No amount of money is worth your livelihood, the likelihood of your survival, nor your comfort and peace of mind. It's like I chose to stay in that situation, but then I still didn't get any sleep anyway. I wasn't able to bathe anyway. So it was like I paid money to sit up all night frightened. Was it worth it? No. What's the real cost of saving money? The real cost of saving money in that situation was a lot of terror and fright all throughout the night. Thank you again. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace. I love you. Bye.